Hey guys, here is another fan. I actually just got this one today. So this will be the second fan of 2023. This one, or 2024, duh. Um, this one is a TAT Deluxe GE-vent ceiling fan. It is model number BDF 52CB. Um, and I don't know exactly when it's from. I'm gonna guess it's probably from around the early 80s. Late 70s perhaps, but I'm pretty sure these were around in the early 80s. Um, these are not terribly common here. I know these are commonly found down south in Florida, Texas. I know, yeah, they're pretty common down there. But yeah, these aren't really too commonly found up here, which is interesting. Um, and this one was kind of up north too, as well. Um, This is a rather generic looking fan if you just glance at it, but if you take a closer look at it, it does have some special characteristics. The first is the motor housing is rather thin, as you can see, um, and it has these very angular blade arms. They're uh, like in a right angle, very straight, um, very much like almost like reverse air arms, Hunter reverse air blade arms, except they don't have any like mechanism, obviously. The nose is kind of large and it is very chunky, the nose cap. Um, the reverse switch is upside down and it does have a label on it for like F is on the top position and R is on the lower position for forward and reverse. So it's supposed to be upside down, which is kind of interesting, which is kind of making me rethink that all the fans that I found, I think it was like last year, maybe 2 years ago, that had a bunch of, they were all like upside down reverse switches, like every single fan I found. Um, it's making me rethink that those were all tampered with. So that's kind of interesting. The blades are completely plain on either side, but I do know that these came with stencil in some cases. I'm not sure about cane, but probably. Uh, the tassel is original from what I can tell. And it does have a regular ball socket canopy and mounting bracket, of course. I didn't get it with the mounting bracket, unfortunately, so I've used a mounting bracket that works. It fits the ball, but it doesn't have those screws at the bottom for the canopy. So I just kind of wired it up there kind of haphazardly, and it works. It looks okay, but I really would like to find a proper mounting bracket for it, because this is a really nice one. I also did balance it and everything. It does look really nice. You'll also notice it has a label on the side there of the motor housing that says TAT Deluxe. It actually has the TAT logo on it, which is pretty interesting. I didn't think they did that on these, but then again, I've never really seen one of these up close or even in person until now. Um, but yeah, so I guess that being said, let's go ahead and turn the fan on high speed. And these have pretty heavy cast iron motors in them, obviously made by TAT. And I think it is the same motor that they used in some of their models of industrials. So as you can see, it's a little wobbly. It was much worse when I first started out with it, so I have gotten it a lot better, but the pull chain still does go around in a circle. And performance-wise, this thing absolutely flies. This fan means business. I am very, very thrilled, very, very happy with this fan's performance. And I wasn't not really surprised considering how heavy that motor is. Yeah, tremendous airflow. And it's moving really fast, high RPMs. And it's quiet too. Not something you typically find with these old cast iron motors. It did have some bearing noise when I first got it too. I oiled the bottom bearing and that seemed to have quieted it down. I'll throw some oil in the top bearing when I take it down as well, probably. But, medium speed. And then so I got this one off of Marketplace. And it had actually been on Marketplace since the end of last year. I think it showed up in like November, maybe the end of October. And I didn't get it, but they lowered the price, and I was like, well, thinking about it, and then I finally bit the bullet and got it. And I'm very happy I did. This is a really nice one. So that's a medium speed. It doesn't wobble at all, medium. And it is a very nice medium. Not super fast. Yeah, I cannot hear any motor noise from it at all. It's very quiet. And there's a little bit of wobble, but it's really not noticeable unless you look right next to it or under it. Yeah, good airflow still. And we'll do low speed. I did have it running on low for about like an hour and a half before I filmed it, just to kind of work the oil into the bearing. So it seems to be doing okay. And the low speed is a little fast. Actually, that's pretty fast. I think these, I don't know, do these use a transformer or a capacitor? I know that some of the spinners use transformer-based controls. This one I think might use capacitors. That one that I have with the UFO motor uses capacitor. I know that because I changed the capacitor value in that one to get it to go faster, because I think the old one was dying. So yeah, this might be a capacitor one. It's a fairly fast low speed, but I am feeling some air off of it, so it is a functional low. Turn it back to high. Yeah, I was really happy that I got it to not wobble as bad as it was, so I'm pretty okay with this amount of wobble. Turn it off and do spin down. I'm really interested to see how good these bearings are. Also, the seller that I got this from, they were, I guess, renovating or something, and they didn't respond for like a day. Finally got them to respond to me, and then it took them a couple hours to finally confirm a time, so I went over today and I picked it up, or I went over to pick it up, and I got there, and I waited at the door for like 10 minutes, and nobody came. I could hear like the construction people, or the renovation contractor people working, like cutting something with the table saw, and so I waited until they stopped and rang the doorbell again. The guy finally came out. Actually, I had messaged his wife, who was the one that was selling it, on Facebook, and she said that her husband would be with me, and so he came out, got the fan from the garage. I didn't really want to ask him for the mounting bracket because he seemed pissed the whole time. I don't know why. And then he asks me to back out of his really long, windy driveway. And so I was like, yeah, sure. So that was kind of difficult. And I managed to do it, so that was my major accomplishment of the day. But yeah, I'm kind of upset that it didn't come with the mounting bracket, because in the pictures it's hanging still, in the pictures in the listing, so I just thought that was weird. I could have asked for it, but I didn't want to, like, he seemed really annoyed for some reason. I don't know why. I didn't want to bother with dealing with him. But that's okay. I got the fan. That's all that matters. And it's about to stop. And that is actually quite a good spin down. So those bearings might still have some life left in them. Could also be that fact that I ran it for a while before filming. But I probably run it a little while after filming as well. Now we'll flip the reverse switch down to the R position for reverse. And start it up on low. So that's probably about the same. I have not tested it in reverse yet, so I don't know if it's going to wobble any worse or better. Medium. It seems about the same. That might be a little bit faster, actually. High. Oh, that is a better. That's a lot better. There's barely any wobble there. And I can hear it making a little bit of bearing noise, so it does need to be ran a little more for the bearings to be kind of re-broken in. Okay, yeah, that's... Before, when I tested it without the blades on, it was working in both directions, not making any bearing noise. So I don't know what the deal with that is. Alright, so now I need to check my phone and make sure I've got enough battery power to... Oh yeah, we're up to 17%. I had it plugged in while I was doing the testing. So now, do the up-close view. So here, you can see I really love the proportions on this fan. I don't know what it is. I think it's probably the thinner motor housing combined with the chunky nose and those long blade arms. It just looks so good to me. There's that really big motor. It's not really long, like wide. It goes out to about there. But it is pretty thick. And the center of the motor housing is kind of thick, so it does compensate for that. I really like how thin the blade arms are here too, but you got to be careful because they will break easily, I'm assuming. Chunky nose, the tassel extension, which is original. Really like that. It's in good condition. And there's the TAT Deluxe tag that I mentioned. It's also in pretty good condition. It looks like somebody tried to tear it off and then stopped, which I'm glad they did, because I really like this. And then on top, the top plate has GE vents as well. It's not identical to the bottom plate because it doesn't have the opening for the motor, but still, it's also got GE vents. There's the canopy, regular ball socket canopy with this really neat extra little ridge up here, which is kind of unique. I've never seen that before. And then here's the informations up here, which you can't really see, so let me get a flashlight real quick. Alright, there you go. So AC ceiling fan, model number BDF52CB. I'm guessing the B is brass. Or, I don't know. The second B at the end is for brass. The first one, I don't know. DF Deluxe fan, 5.2, 52 inches C. I have no idea. Colored brass, maybe? I don't know. 52 inch, 1320 millimeters, 120 voltage. UL listing made in Hong Kong. And then there's the, I think that's a serial number, maybe the date code. I don't know. Yeah, so this is probably from the 80s, early 80s or so. So yeah, I think that is just about it. That is the TAT Deluxe GE-vent ceiling fan, 52 inches in antique brass. So thank you guys so much for watching as always, and I'll see you in the next video.